What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another Prize Picks video for you. Today is Friday, February 3rd, 2023. We have 8 games on the NBA slate. Prize Picks board is looking healthy, filling out nicely. Only teams we are missing from what I can see are I say that, and Tyrese Halliburton is now on the board. But before him, there were no Pacers on the board. Also still missing the Houston Rockets on this board, unless they added them just now. Well, Sengun is added now. So that is how quickly things change on Prize Picks. If you look at the board 1 minute, you can come back in 20 minutes and it looks completely different. So starting to fill out nicely. I'm sure within the next hour or so, all teams will be represented on the board with multiple players from their team. Let's check out the matchups real quick, and I want to just go over some quick game totals and spreads with you. So a lot of close games, which, you know, they're predicting to be close games, although you never know how the NBA pans out day to day. Close games, 4-point spreads, 2.5 point spreads. Charlotte and Detroit, sneaky good game here. 241 point total, only a 1.5 game spread. Charlotte coming off a game last night, so second night of a back-to-back. Boston Phoenix scares me a little bit. That's a 10-point. Boston's 10-point. They're a 10-point home favorite versus Phoenix. Phoenix just got the brakes beaten off them by the Atlanta Hawks. Boston has beat the brakes off of Brooklyn. We just don't need any more blowouts. Blowouts do nothing for our props. They keep players off the floor. And if you're a fan of that team, yeah, it feels great for your team to win by such a huge amount. But for your props, it ruins them. It sinks them. It's not good. Houston 7.5 home dogs, but I mean, considering how bad they are this season, I thought the line would be a little bit more. 227 point total, a little low. Magic and Minnesota looks like a good matchup here. 5-point spread, 231 game total. Philly and San Antonio. Philly is a 10-point road favorite versus the Spurs. That's how bad the Spurs are. And probably my favorite game on the slate, Atlanta in Utah. 1.5 spread, 240.5 game total. Should be a lot of fun to watch. Let's head on over to Prize Picks and let's get this going with my 2 favorite plays on the board today. I'll give you some insights as to why they are my top picks, and then I'll give you a couple honorable mentions as well, and then we'll call it a day. Let's get going. So let's head on over to props.cash, where I should have had Sabonis ready to roll for y'all. All right, Sabonis over first half points. Line is set to 10.5, which is, to me, it's a little low when you factor in De'Aaron Fox is out for this game. When you also factor in that he is basically just hovering around that 10.5, 11-point line over the last 10 games. Yes, he had 2 bad games against Memphis and Toronto, but I believe he picked up 3 personal fouls against Memphis, which kept him off the floor in the first half. Yeah, so 3 personal fouls against Memphis. He's gonna average 1 foul a quarter, basically, but he picked up an extra one, and just picking up the extra foul, I mean, that really hurts your fantasy production because you're just on the bench. So first half minutes against the Memphis Grizzlies, he played 17 minutes in the first half. He's, up around that 18. So he missed about a minute of playing time. Doesn't seem like a whole lot, but you never know. A lot goes on in 1 minute on an NBA floor, for sure. 18 minutes against Toronto. Stayed out of foul trouble for the most part. Yeah, picked up 1 foul in the first half. Just didn't have a good game against Toronto. Those games are going to happen. Nothing too much to look into here. We don't want to look into this. Now, his last game against Indiana, he scored 9 points in the first half, but he only scored 11 points in the full game. This was a blowout, though. Sacramento blew out the Indiana Pacers. 137 to 114. Sabonis put up almost a triple-double in 23 minutes. So fantasy production, that's 10.5, 13.5, 25.5, 36.5 fantasy points in 23 minutes. Sabonis is typically getting 36 minutes a game, so you just took away 13 minutes, which is half of 23. So half of 36 fantasy points is what, 18? So he would have given you 54 fantasy points minus his three turnovers. That's 51 fantasy points, and this was with De'Aaron Fox on the floor. So no De'Aaron Fox, positive game environment, quick pace game. I think Sabonis hits 10.5 first half points. If you're not confident in his first half points, then you may look to his full game points. But much of the same that I said about his first half goes for the full game. And then PRA in fantasy, he's a monster. He's a monster. And I wonder if he's playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder for not being named an all-star starter, which he deserves. 9 assists a game, 11 assists. This is insane. Insane production. What's not to like? Positive game environment, quick pace game. I wonder if Tyrese Halliburton has been added to this because he was just added to Prizepicks. So props.cash should have updated their props here as well to be in alignment with Prizepicks. And so Tyrese Halliburton is now added. So Sacramento's playing at a pace of 9th in the league. They're 9th fastest in the league. And Indiana's 3rd. So it should be a pretty fast game. You saw the game total. Very healthy. Very, very low spread. So I like it. Let's roll with Sabonis over 10.5 first half points. Let's head on over to Boston, where the Celtics are hosting the Phoenix Suns. Now, this game kind of scares me. And I know it's not appropriate to think about blowouts or predict blowouts, but we have just been seeing a lot of them, and we have been hurt recently by blowouts. Atlanta blew out Phoenix the other night, hurt DeAndre Ayton's PRA prop. He was 2 away. Had he played his full minutes, he would have crushed that. Blowout hurt Jaylen Brown's rebounds and assist prop against the Nets. He scored all his points in the first half. Didn't even hit his PRA for the game. They set out the whole quarter, and they set out the whole fourth quarter. Blowouts are fun for a fan if you're rooting for a team, but they do nothing for your props. They really, really don't. So we're rooting for a close game against Phoenix. Stay in the game so we can get our props on. But I'm liking Robert Williams III over his points and assists. Full game here. Over his last 5, he's giving you 12. Over his last 10, he's giving you 11. He needs 10.5 today. I think he can get it done. Robert Williams is low-key a very, very good passer of the basketball. Very good passer of the basketball. He's just smart. His IQ is extremely high. He understands the game. He's aware of his surroundings. Yes, he can get you tips and putbacks and offensive boards, but if you've ever watched the Celtics play, he is a very good passer in the paint. He knows when to get rid of the ball, and he can find an open shooter. So if you are looking to his points and assists, if Robert Williams is giving you 2 assists today, he only needs to give you 9 points, and he's doing that already. He could probably hit this points and assists line in points alone. Now, this is full game. This isn't half. He could probably give you this full line with points alone. When he's healthy, he is a beast. His minutes are starting to creep back up. He was hurt in Toronto. He was out. He just misses time here and there. Missed a few games here and there. That Toronto game, held him out a little bit. His minutes have been low. You could tell when they ramp him up, then they bring him back down. They just want to make sure he's healthy for the playoffs. And they'll pull him in a blowout. They'll pull him in a game where he's not needed. Well, against DeAndre Ayton, Bismack Biyombo, two big bigs on the floor, he's going to be needed. I expect more minutes from Robert Williams tonight. Maybe you see less of Grant Williams tonight. But I like Robert Williams III over his 10.5 points and assists. If he would have stayed on the floor versus the Brooklyn Nets, I mean, against Brooklyn, he still hit his points. He got the points and assists and just points alone. I mean, look at this. Points and assists against Brooklyn, 16. He had no assists against Brooklyn, and he still hit this line. Do you like his points and rebounds as well? I do. The line is higher, though. The line is higher. So I like his points and assists. And if you want to see what he does at home, it's about the same as what he does on the road. Yeah, about the same. But remember, we're looking at this with fine lenses here. Understanding that Robert Williams has been injured. He's been in and out the lineup. He is just now starting to regain his health. He is starting to play more minutes. All this is trending up. And this is a good game for him where he should see good floor time versus a bigger front court in Phoenix. Bigger than the front court that Brooklyn has, for sure. So those are my two picks that I'm rolling with. I like these props. My two honorable mentions: Trae Young over 40.5 PRA and Pascal Siakam over 32.5 points and rebounds. Now, the reason Trae Young is a honorable mention and he is not a core play is because this line got bumped up. I was really loving this at 39.5. It got bumped up to 40.5, but Let me show you something about Trae Young, especially over his last game versus the Utah Jazz, which was like 2 months ago. So in that game against Utah, he took 28 shots. He hit 10. That's 36% from the field. That's low. Super, super low for Trae Young. Over his last 10 games, Trae Young has hit 45% from the field. He's averaging 25.4 points per game in that time frame. So he was shooting well below his average. Now, if Trae Young had hit 45% of his shots in that game against Utah, that would equal an extra 3 shots made, and that's inclusive of 2 3-pointers. So when you add all that up, that's 8 extra points, giving him 30 points on the day. When you add in his 4 rebounds and 9 assists that he had against Utah, that puts him at 39.5, that puts him over 39.5 PRA, and that's what he needs. That's what he needed tonight. But it still puts him over 40.5. So he just had a bad night against Utah. He had a bad shooting night. I look for him to bounce back in a fast-paced game. These are two different teams. Both of these teams are different now than they were when they played back in November 9th? November 9th they played this game? Yeah. It's 2 months ago. 3 months ago. Right? November, December, January. Yeah, 3 months. A lot has changed. So I like Trae Young over his points, rebounds, and assists. I still like it at 40.5. Hopefully it doesn't get bumped up again. And then my last honorable mention, I say Pascal Siakam over 32.5 points and rebounds. He's been on a bit of a slump, for sure. He hasn't been playing up to his standard, but I look for that to change against the Houston Rockets. Pascal Siakam is just too good of a player to not regain his form. Now, this was at 31.5, and I really, really liked it at 31.5. I still like it at 32.5. But just look, 32.5. Look at where he is. 31, 31, 31. He's in this, man. He's in this. Bad game against Atlanta. Bad game against Milwaukee. Bad game against Phoenix. But he's in these games. He needs to stay out of foul trouble. Okay? He can't be fouling out. He can't be picking up 4 fouls, 3 in the first quarter. None of that. We can't have any of that. If he plays his full run, and if he does not get into foul trouble, those are big ifs. But I I think he can keep his hands to himself and play nice. Give me 37 minutes from Pascal Siakam. Give me, what is he taking? 18 shots a game? Give me 20 shots a game from Pascal Siakam. Give me 6 3-point attempts from Pascal Siakam tonight. Points and rebounds, I like it a lot for Pascal against yes, I know Sengun's in there, but he's still going to grab his 6 to 7, maybe even 8 rebounds. I like it. Give me 25 points and 8 rebounds. We'll call it a night. We'll cash out on this prop for sure. So those are my 2 honorable mentions. Trae Young over 40.5 PRA. Siakam over 32 points and rebounds. My 2 plays that I like, that I love tonight. Domantas Sabonis over his first half points. Robert Williams over his full game points and assists. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel and just checking this video out and talking basketball props with me. Truly appreciate the time you've taken out of your schedule to do that. Leave me a comment below letting me know who your favorite player prop on the board is. Who have you locked in? Who do you have your eyes on? Let me also know what you think about these picks, these observations. What do you think about my honorable mentions? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you love them? Do you want to leave them? Either way, let me know in the comments below. I still want to know what's on your mind. Thank you once again for stopping by the channel and just checking this out, chilling out with me on this beautiful Friday afternoon. And until my next video tomorrow morning's early look video, Chavez is